live.
And we're live. Awesome.
And we're live.
we need like a thing that we say at the beginning. And we're live is great, but maybe it should be something funny.
Maybe.
It should be something. All right. We did not actually discuss who was going to kind of like run the show here for this call.
Obviously, that's you.
Is it me? Is it
Always.
really?
Of course.
Okay. I'm not actually sure if this mic is working. Have you guys noticed whether or not my sound is different?
I haven't noticed. You seem to be a slightly bit delayed, but that could just be the stream.
Oh, okay. D, I believe, is is watching this. Maybe D can let us know if we're delayed. D, could you let us know if we're delayed? I think that D, it's delayed getting to D. So we're saying that D doesn't see for a minute or two.
I'm just seeing your audio is about a half a second after your video.
Yes.
So's Brandy's, though, for me.
Oh, might just be part of Restream's streaming stuff. We'll not worry about it.
Okay.
All right. We look okay.
We look okay. All right. So today,
thank you.
Do a quick LinkedIn Live to talk about everything that we've been up to. We're just super excited. This last month has been eventful. It's hard to believe that we've only been doing this for 2 months, you guys. Like, seriously, we started on January 7th or something, really the next week after that. So it has been an extremely busy, momentum-filled first 2 months. I'm so excited that we're here. We'd like to talk about a few topics today, things that we went to a women's conference last week. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about events that we have scheduled for the rest of this month and things that we want to schedule for next month. We'd also like to announce one partnership that we completed this month that we're excited about. And we'll start with the women's conference. I don't want this just to be me talking. So Brandy, do you want to give a little bit of a recap? Would you feel good with that? I should have asked you this before.
Yeah, sure. I can absolutely do that. So we had the opportunity to attend the Women in Business Conference hosted by the Small Business Development Center and Snow College. Absolutely fantastic couple of days. There were so many classes that we were able to attend and learn great things. We made some amazing contacts, met some absolutely incredible women and businesses. It was just an incredible experience, and the people we met were amazing. So let me say thank you to Christine and Tom and Jeanette and everyone else at Snow College and SBDC for putting on that event and bringing us all together. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and it was really an interesting thing as a company for our first event that we went to together. We got to do a lot of team building and work together on our branding and the way we talk about the company and the way we talk about what we do. So I think it was a super important and successful step for us to take to do that kind of an event together. And it felt like a big step forward. So it was exciting that we got to do that. Next month, we are going to go to the Atlassian Team 23 conference. So that's on the horizon for our next thing that we're going to do. We're going to take the party bus to Las Vegas. By party bus, we mean our RV. That's the party bus. We don't really have a party bus.
Still going to be a party the whole way down.
The whole way down. All right. So that's an exciting thing that we've done this last month. Brett, do you want to talk about our partnership that we just entered into?
Absolutely. We just entered an agreement with not Inclusive Agile. That's us. IC Agile. They just entered a partnership with us. They should be the ones bragging about this. But yeah, we are starting off with IC Agile to be offering their business fundamentals, Agile business fundamentals certification course. We're in the process of creating and optimizing that for our particular flavor and style, making sure we're getting a lot of inclusion aspects into that. And that will be an offering we'll have available very, very soon. So if anyone's looking to do some business Agile certification, if you're in an environment where you want to do a little better in your Agile, but you don't want to go through the software Agile process, this is targeted primarily for general businesses than a software development team. Obviously, we've all got a lot of experience with the software development Agile as well. So if you want anything with that,
we're kind of know-it-alls in that area, so
it's kind of the job.
Super excited to be applying. I'm gonna just be a nerd for just a minute here. Maybe I mentioned this on the last one. I love applying Agile principles to things outside of software, right? Like just dealing with daily life. We need an Agile for Families playbook that we've talked about maybe doing at some point as well. So it's exciting to get to apply this outside of software for the first time for me, as far as like teaching it and getting to do it professionally. So that's exciting.
It is, I think, fairly unfortunate for a lot of organizations out there that Agile has been primarily a software mentality for so long. I'm certain many companies could have stuck around longer, could have made it through the challenging experiences that have been happening the past few years if they had grabbed on to some of the basic Agile principles, and then adding in the inclusion aspects to it just makes it better for everyone involved.
Okay, thank you, Brett. Darren, would you like to introduce our two speakers that we have coming up next week and the week after?
Yes, wait 1 second.
Oh, you need to pull up the days and times and things?
Yeah.
Okay, so while he's doing that, last stream, we started talking about our book club. And we are still doing that. We're still doing a Team Topologies read through and book club with the other speakers and the other events that we had going on this month. We've decided to push those conversations into April. So be on the lookout for invites to the Inclusive Agile Book Club for Team Topologies. It's still going to be chapters 1 through 3 that we're going to discuss. If anybody's watching this and you love that book, or you just want to be on screen with us rather than just listening, reach out. We'd love to have other people join us on those calls and debate us. Tell us why we're wrong, because we love being told why we're wrong. Hunty, he's in the chat going, yeah, Carissa loves it when I tell her she's wrong. That's her favorite. Her absolute favorite. Okay, Darren, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
All right, so on March 22nd at 1 o'clock Pacific time, we're going to be presenting Ashley Randolph, who is the founder of a nonprofit called Glow Preemies. And she is just a delight to talk to and just super fun. And I think she's doing really important work with helping families who have preemies, especially, preemies in the NICU. And yeah, I really like what she's doing. I really appreciate her work. And she's just an interesting person to talk to, and it'll be a fun, hearing her story is just fun. So, and it's sad, but she's so good at telling it, and I just like listening to her. And then also on March 30th at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, we are we'll be presenting Jackie Abrams, who's written a book called Hush Money, which is discussing, she's had her traumatic experience with being a Black woman in business and the way she's treated pretty poorly too. It's a really fascinating read. It's pretty moving and it's pretty shocking, especially being somebody who's never had to experience that. it's a little eye-opening to experience that
Mhm.
through her eyes. She's a really good storyteller and just a really just nice person, and I'm really looking forward to talking to her too.
I'm going to double down on these two women are so inspiring and have been so great to work with us. And we've had some great conversations that have helped, kind of inform the way we're thinking about our work as well. We want to invite more voices, more people. That part of our mission is to elevate voices, that anything where we're dealing with any sort of diversity, inclusion, belonging, neurodiversity, racism, anti-racism, sexism, kind of space. We'd like to hear people's stories. We'd like to be able to feature them. And so if you'd like to collaborate with us and partner with us, reach out to any one of us and we'll have that conversation. So super excited about that. Okay. And then next month, actually, Brett, you should present what we're doing for next month.
Some of the things
Yes.
we're doing for next month. So next month is actually, I think we should probably acknowledge this month first.
Oh, we did skip over that. We were going to talk about that.
Just a little bit.
Let's acknowledge that. Let me acknowledge for a moment on that for a minute. I have been doing a series of women who have changed my history, is the way I've been framing that. So every day I've been posting, every day-ish. I'm posting about people who I've found significant in my life. The month is not long enough to list them all. One thing I'd like to highlight, and I'd like to, maybe a kind of a call to action to other people who are celebrating this month or who are trying to call attention this month, is to make sure we're being intersectional in the way we're presenting women's history. So trans women, Black women, Asian women, all the women, Hispanic women. I've been trying to make sure I'm highlighting each of those myself, the ones that have impacted me personally. I'm not trying to there's all sorts of women who have impacted me personally, intersectionally. So let's make sure as we're doing that we continue to keep that as a theme. Yeah. What would you like to add to that, Brett?
That I greatly appreciate the posts that you've been putting in. I have been reading all of them and thinking about them. Women's History Month, not one of the months that usually gets a lot of attention, and probably should. It's really kind of crazy what you can see and find out if you just look a little bit at how our world would not exist anywhere near the way it is now without the amazing, powerful women that have taken care of and fixed, helped move, progress so many things.
Absolutely. So we have a question here from one of our viewers, Dee. Let's go ahead. And would someone like to answer this? When someone does something non-inclusive at work, what should happen? Let's say common microaggressions or direct-ish jokes. Should they be fired, or how do we repair the damage done?
Great question. I'd like to invite Dee on to...
Dee would be great to answer this, but they're also dealing with being ill today. So this should be a whole conversation that we have. I'm going to say that all of those things should happen. Should they be fired? Maybe eventually. That should be on the table for someone who is not willing to engage with the process, is not willing to listen to how their words have impacted someone else, to someone who continues to do it after being asked not to. I have stories. Quick, I'll way summarize this, but I had an issue at one job where a coworker commonly would make jokes about how I'm chatty because I'm a girl, in meetings with other leaders, things like that, right? Things that kind of diminished my ability to be effective in the calls or the meetings, right? And my first step was, hey, can we talk about this? I talked to him personally. When you say this affects me this way. And he brushed it off, compared me to his child. That's okay. My 15-year-old does the same thing, and I love her. I love strong women like my 15-year-old, right? It was great. It was a really interesting kind of it was not great. That was sarcastic. So continued to happen to the point where it eventually became, okay, well, I need to speak to our mutual boss. Continued to happen, went to HR, continued to happen. And the culture there was such that it was kind of like, well, I think you're making too big of a deal out of this, Carissa. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. It's not an issue. I eventually left that position and that job without it ever being resolved because the culture there just supported it and allowed it. And I think that shouldn't be tolerated after several steps have been done to educate, to inform, to bring somebody into the conversation, to try to make everyone be able to have a safe environment. If that's not working, you should not keep those people on your team.
I agree. Thank you so much for that answer.
Why does that make me feel excluded? Because that made me felt excluded because, first off, I don't want the focus to be on my femaleness at all, right? Like, I don't want it to be like, I'm saying this in a poor way. I do want to be recognized for the fact that I am a woman. I have different challenges. But when they shine the light that way, it makes it like, oh, you're a different class of person entirely than I am. I can't even relate to you as a peer. The only way I can relate to you is by putting you down here with my child. I can't, it didn't feel that the exclusion there for me was the knocking me down to the comparison of a child and how a child acts and how a child relates to their parent, instead of being, as a peer, I can recognize that this was hard for you. And as a woman, this is different for you. And kind of like the recognition of being on the same level for me is the exclusion part. The delay here is a little bit difficult because I think Dee might ask another follow-up and we will have moved on.
Well, we're going to move
Okay.
on. Brett, we got interrupted. Why don't you go ahead and introduce April for us?
Oh, I am the one that interrupted us. So was my job. So April is another month of awareness. We're leaving the Women's History Month, which we are going to be very much aware, and moving into Autism Awareness Month. And Autism Awareness Month is extraordinarily important to me in particular because I am on the autism spectrum, and being aware of autism, both myself and the people in my life around me, my coworkers, my family, my friends, has made a massive, massive difference for me. So we're going to be doing several things for Autism Awareness Month. I'll be posting a blog post shortly talking about the basics of how I found out I was on the autism spectrum. And we would be very, very interested in participating in any sort of speaking engagements. If you would like somebody to come into your company and do a quick talk on autism awareness and the value of it, or a lengthy speech on autism awareness and the value of it, be delighted to be involved with that. One of the oddities of me and my autism is I'm one of the unusual autistic people that is both very autistic and also very comfortable talking about it and talking in public. So a good bonus there. We'll also be posting other articles and our other posts about specific aspects of autism and how it affects people in the workplace and then in their lives. And we would be thrilled if anyone wanted to come and speak for us or with us. We could do another live event and have a few people that are on the autism spectrum dealing with that in the workplace and have a panel on that. That would be delightful for us. Or if you're doing something like that elsewhere, we would be very, very excited to join. And I think that's the big stuff for April.
And I think that's the end of our kind of agenda, right? Of the things that we wanted to talk about.
Okay. It is.
Awesome. So we'll keep this short and sweet. And as we're signing off, we'll just say that if anybody's interested in learning more about how to make your teams more agile and more inclusive, coming in from whichever direction on that, we would love to sit down and talk to you about what we do. Just for instance, some of the things that we're providing are one-on-one coaching and consulting with leadership individuals and leadership or leadership teams. We're also putting together retreats for leadership teams to do deep dives into their organizational culture and to how these issues are affecting their teams and the wider org. And again, as Brett mentioned, we're putting together specific agility for business certification, so you can have that cert saying that you went through it. And but at the same time, you're also going to be getting that, how do you apply diversity and inclusion, and how do you use your day-to-day work as a lab to help people learn to be more inclusive. All of that would be included in that agility training, so you don't have to get it from two sources. And if you feel like your company needs a bigger conversation, like how do we really help our whole team engage with this over time, we would love to talk to you about a longer term Agile consulting and transformation for your company. So please reach out. We are here on LinkedIn, and you can find us on inclusiveagile.io is our website. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to add one more in. Sorry, Brandy. Yes, I cut you off. I have also, and I know everyone else on the team would be able and willing to do so, coaching for people that are dealing with neurodivergent issues in their workplace and their life. We are also dealing with those. We have quite a bit of experience. Everybody on this screen right now is ADHD and has other issues as well. So if you're dealing with some challenges, and it's not necessarily the company that you're worried about, we don't need to go and fix the company. We'd love to, but we don't need to. We can work with you and help you understand and work with the challenges you're dealing with individually.
Yeah, awesome. I'm super excited about that. I have a couple of coaching clients right now that we're working with that we're excited about too. So
thank you very much. Okay, again, if you would like to join us to participate in our discussions for Autism Awareness Month, if you want to be up here on the screen when we're talking about team topologies, you can reach out to us at contact@inclusiveagile.io, and we'll get that scheduled and figured out. We'd love to have some more people involved.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We also need to sign off too.
Yes.
Okay, signing off.
Thanks for coming, y'all.